Welcome to Taste of Truth Tuesdays, where we'll be serving up bite-sized conversations on all things fitness, nutrition, mindset, and spirituality. So grab your headphones and get ready to taste the truth with us every Tuesday. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform because every bite counts. Hey, welcome back to Taste of Truth Tuesdays, everybody. This week we are talking unlocking the power of hope molecules, how movement transforms mind and body. Did you know that your muscles are not just for flexing in front of the mirror? They're actually little factories producing something called hope molecules. That's right, your body has its very own antidepressant system, and all you need to do is activate it by movement. So what are hope molecules and how exactly do they work? Well, recent research has blown the lid off of the idea that muscles are just for strength. It turns out that muscles are like endocrine organs. And these are a network of glands and organs that release hormones into the bloodstream. For example, thyroid gland is also an endocrine organ and it's located in the neck and produces hormones like T4 and T3, which regulate metabolism, energy levels, and growth. Well, our muscles are similar because they release these amazing proteins called myokines, spelled myokines, into the bloodstream whenever we move. And one of their biggest jobs is supporting mental health by directly impacting our brain chemistry. Each time you move, you're basically giving yourself a free shot of feel-good chemicals. As Dr. Kelly McGonigal says, every time we move our muscles, we're giving ourselves an intravenous dose of hope. Now, let's geek out for a second. When you move your body, whether it's a walk, a stretch, or a full workout, your muscles are releasing these myokines, and this is vital for BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So BDNF is like fertilizer for your brain cells. It promotes neuroplasticity, which helps your brain grow, adapt, and become more resilient to stress and trauma. So essentially, BDNF turns your brain into a sponge, ready to absorb new information. It's ready to learn and to heal. So every time that you're getting your body moving, it is not just working out those muscles, but you're literally rewiring your brain. And that's not all, my friends. These myokines also affect the hippocampus, which we spoke of in a previous episode about emotional hijacks with Jay. This part of your brain is responsible for managing stress and memory. So think of it like this. Your hippocampus is your brain's stress coach, and myokines give it the boost it needs to help you handle anxiety, trauma, and everyday stressors like a pro. So when you move, you're not just building muscles, but you're building mental resilience. And so now let's get into the antidepressant effect of movement. You know that feeling after a workout or a nice long hike when you're a little bit sweaty and your mood has completely shifted? That's because of these myokines, particularly the BDNF that we spoke of earlier and other brain-boosting chemicals that work with neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, two major players in mood regulation. I know you've heard of them. So these neurotransmitters are like your body's internal mood elevators, help lift your spirits. And whenever you're moving, you're going to be flooding your system with these natural antidepressants. And here's the best news. The kicker is it's not just a quick fix. Regular burst of movement can create a cumulative effect over time. That word is always hard for me to say. Compounding, building up over time. Even if you're just doing it for 10 minutes a day, you're reinforcing your body's ability to manage stress long term. So think about it like you're building a mental stress shield. Each time you move, you're layering on protection against anxiety, depression, and the weight of daily life. Okay, so I want to pan over to the Mind Over Milkshake study because I think it gets to the heart of how powerful our beliefs are when it comes to how our bodies respond. In this study, participants were given the same milkshake, but half were told it was an indulgent treat, and the other half were told it was a sensible, low-calorie shake. They were testing whether feeling full would vary depending on the mindset in which one approaches eating food. And so really we're discussing labels are not just labels, they actually invoke a set of beliefs. Okay, picture this. We've got group one looking at this milkshake. It's labeled indulgence. So they're thinking high sugar and fat. It's over 600 calories. The other group is labeled Cincy Shake, 0% fat, no added sugar, only 140 calories. So these labels were invoking the mindset mindset while these participants were consuming it? Well, guess what? Their bodies reacted completely differently based purely on what they believed they were consuming. Those who thought they were drinking the indulgent shake had a lower ghrelin response, and ghrelin is your hunger hormone, which basically means that they felt fuller. If the person thought that they were having a sensible shake with 0% fat and no added sugar, they were not satisfied and actually were still hungry. If you're curious, in the study, they measured ghrelin 3 times. They got a baseline, they got the anticipatory, and then they got the post-consumption reading. So I mentioned earlier, ghrelin's called the hunger hormone. This hormone is produced in your gut and it's secreted when your stomach is empty. That's why we call it the hunger hormone. Its main function is to increase appetite. So the higher your levels of ghrelin, the hungrier you get. The lower your levels, the fuller you feel. So for a long time, scientists thought the ghrelin levels fluctuated in response to the nutrients that are in the stomach. Yet, this study shows that the effect of food consumption on ghrelin may actually be psychologically mediated, meaning the mindset is actually going to impact the physiological responses to food. So it's not the shake itself that caused this, but it was their mindset. That's crazy, right? This means that the usual metabolic model, which is calories in, calories out, often abbreviated CICO in the metabolic literature, may need some rethinking because it doesn't account for any way that our beliefs about our food may actually impact our physiology, how it's digested, and so on. So how does this tie back into exercise, Megan? Well, the way you think about movement can seriously change the impact it has on your mental and physical health. So if you view exercise as something grueling or purely for aesthetics, you're missing out on the deeper benefits. And when you approach it as an act of self-care, as a way to release those hope molecules, it changes the entire experience. You're not just working out, but you're literally building hope into your life. And how cool is that? We dove deeper into this topic in episode 3 of the season called Breaking Free, Escaping the Diet Culture, where I explored more about body-neutral fitness, where you learn how to find peace with your body through a body-neutral approach to exercise. So circle back to that episode and check out the blog for more resources as always. Now, this is for those of us who are recovering from high control environments like strict religious or ideological groups. The idea of regaining control over your body through movement is huge. Physical movement offers a tangible way to reclaim your autonomy and empower yourself. Plus, the hope molecules you release help with resilience and recovery, supporting brain health and reducing the long-term effects of chronic stress. So in fact, movement becomes a powerful form of healing. And we're going to explore a little bit more in this topic in a future episode on October 15th with Catherine Spearing from Tears of Eden. We're going to be talking about how art and movement can be a powerful part of healing. And I cannot stress enough, this antidepressant effect of movement is crucial for restoring mental health after those kinds of experiences. Regular physical activity not only boosts our mood, but helps reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. So the science is clear. Moving your body is one of the best things you can do to nurture your mental health and emotional well-being. So how do we put this all into practice? I mean, we want to start small. Studies show that even 3 minutes of movement can trigger the release of these hope molecules. So you don't need to do a whole marathon, just walk around the block, stretch at your desk, or do a quick workout in your living room. The important thing is to start and then to keep doing it regularly. Honestly, the number one thing holding most people back from their goals that I've seen in 20 years as a personal trainer is consistency. For some reason, getting healthy typically means it must be hard. And if you can relate, then I'm speaking directly to you. I understand that change of any kind is intimidating, and you may feel like you have a really long way to go in achieving your goals. But here are some tips when it comes to hacking consistency. First is the concept of habit stacking. I want you to focus on 1 to 2 habits that you can easily commit to. Get into the groove with them. Next, build 1 or 2 habits on top of those. Quick example of what your starting habits could look like, 5-minute morning walk. So you're starting a morning with a short and simple walk to boost the mood and energy. This will give you an immediate sense of achievement. And the second habit would be a 1-minute breathing exercise. So before your walk or movement session, how about we practice a simple breathing exercise like box breathing? So 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 second out, 4-second hold, and that can reduce stress and center yourself. So then when we want to stack the habits, we could add stretching. So after your 5-minute walk, stack on 2 to 3 minutes of gentle stretching, focus on the areas on the neck, shoulders, and legs. And this can further release tension and amplify the mental health benefits of movement. And the second habit you could stack eventually would be more gratitude reflection. So maybe after the breathing exercise, stack a quick gratitude reflection by naming one thing you're grateful for. And this can reinforce positive thinking and create a hopeful mindset, helping to recover from any emotional strain we've been going through. So starting small like this helps make these actions consistent and more sustainable. Tip number 2 in hacking consistency is going to be focused on what's being added and improved. So we're adding in more movement, more awareness, more breath work, adding in more protein, fruits and vegetables, something like that, instead of what's being taken away or what's being restrained. Number 3, however your path looks on your journey to feeling better, it should be rewarding and tied to a deep personal meaning and intrinsic motivation, meaning like the internal drive. Number 4, self-efficacy. I think this is the name of the game. Building belief in oneself over time creates a foundation of knowledge that is for a sustainable lifestyle. So not just like, I did a 30-day challenge, woohoo. It's like, what can we do long term? Building on habits is what creates a routine. A routine is what creates consistency, and consistency is what creates results. And so awareness is the key that begins the ability to implement your intentions. So you may have goals and desires, but now you've got to bridge that gap. And that's where consistent behaviors and actions come in. So consistency is really everything. If you're not able to be consistent with what you're currently doing, it's not you. Maybe it's your approach. Because remember, mindset is key. We want to frame your movement as an opportunity to boost your brain and body rather than as a chore or a punishment. By seeing it this way, we can build hope and resilience. You're definitely going to be maximizing the benefits. Oh, and we're going to be having fun. And as you know, fun gets more done. So let's find activities that feel good, whether that's dancing, yoga, hiking, or just playing with your dog. So here's your main takeaway. The next time you're feeling down or overwhelmed, remember that you've got hope molecules just waiting to be activated. You know, I mentioned hope being the master aptitude in a previous episode with Neil Van Leeuwen that was called Holy Illusions, Exploring the Dynamics of Faith and Identity. I mentioned in chapter 6 of Daniel Goleman's work on emotional intelligence underscores that hope and a positive outlook are crucial for overcoming obstacles and achieving success. In his view, these emotional competencies can sometimes be even more important than intelligence alone. Goleman identifies key components of emotional intelligence, such as motivation and a positive outlook. And motivation is being able to be driven to achieve goals despite setbacks, while a positive outlook helps individuals see opportunities even in tough situations. So these traits are essential for perseverance and resilience, which are critical for long-term success. So Goleman's framework, and I love his book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, highly recommend reading it. It highlights that emotional intelligence encompasses self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And developing these skills helps people manage their emotions, stay focused on their goals, and navigate social complexities, ultimately leading to a greater success altogether. So fascinatingly, research shows that hopeful students are more emotionally resilient, bouncing back more frequently from challenges. And this resiliency was found to be a better predictor of academic performance than SAT scores. So the bottom line here is if you're hopeful, you're not just more resilient, but you're going to be a better problem solver, thinking more creatively about how to overcome obstacles rather than feeling defeated by them. And I mean, hey, in today's world, this is incredibly crucial. So if you haven't already dove into Goleman's work, do that. And remember, it is hope that drives us to set goals, stay motivated, and to find ways to move forward, even when cynicism tries to creep in. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks. So thanks again for tuning in. If you love this episode and want to geek out with me more, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who could use a little extra dose of hope in their life. For upcoming episodes, we have some goodies. From serendipity to scrutiny, the truth behind MLMs and coercive control with Brandy Hadfield. Then we have Well Considered, Mastering Informed Consent and Medicine with Just the Inserts. On October 15th, we're going to have From Burnout to Breakthrough, Healing Art and Resilience with Catherine Spearing. And then we'll have with my dear friend Nicole, we're going to be talking about brain fog, thyroid health, and gut health. And then lastly, our Witch Hunt finale episode just before Halloween. So until then, maintain your curiosity, embrace skepticism, and keep tuning in. Have a great week.